2033, which was the signing of the Treaty of Paris, which is what made us a nation.
All right, everybody ready?
I don't have a clue what this is.
You don't have a clue?
Gather around you.
Didn't I thought I was laughing one up here.
Philip will lend you his,
Okay,
and we have one for Philip.
we have plenty more.
Okay, quills up, gentlemen.
Quills up.
Well, and it's actually a pen.
Can we just kind of not be?
So go ahead.
Okay, there you go.
We have one that doesn't have a quill.
Who doesn't have a quill?
I don't.
I thought I.
Robert?
Okay, we need another quill.
Jessica, in that.
I was thinking I'll lay all of one. Right here.
What? No, I thought you were gonna have him take a
Are
picture.
you gonna take a picture of it?
Yes,
for us?
if you
Or
will.
Jessica? Jessica will.
Okay, you're good.
Anybody.
You got
I want a
Jessica.
copy.
I
You
think
got
we're
one, I
good
got
now.
one, you got
Okay.
one. Yeah, I think we all got one. Thank you.
We need to be looking at the
Are
paper,
y'all
looking
looking
at
at
the
the
camera.
camera? Can we turn that spotlight on the back? Yeah. Please, thank you.
Thank you.
You should come.
Hey, there we go. All right. Y'all ready? I just took lunch.
Did you take a bunch?
I did, yes, ma'am.
We good? Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you for being good sports.
Huzzah.
For being here.
Huzzah.
That's great.
Huzzah, that's right.
Oh, I have one.
And you know, since we're going through 2033, we'll be hearing from you again.
This one?
Okay, we can get that.
You want this one?
Thank you very much, guys.
There was more. Oh, that's a feather, it's not a pen. This one's a pen. Jessica.
Too tight.
Okay, I'm coming down, sir.
That's it.
No.
You hang on to me, I'm more stable.
Are we done being revolutionary?
We are.
That's nice.
I got it.
Really, I just had a picture at our
Okay.
4th of July thing dissolved.
Oh, really?
All right, everyone, we're gathered in here now, so, thank everyone for being here at Town of Central, special called meeting. This is a public hearing tonight at Central Town Hall, Monday, July 13th, 2026, 6:30 PM. And I call this special called meeting into session at this time. Tonight, as part of our invocation, at our later meeting throughout the evening, we will have our Pledge of Allegiance and those things, but we'll have an invocation at the beginning of the special called meeting. And tonight, we will observe a moment of silence for Lindsey Graham. We are quite aware that the world knows Lindsey Graham as a player on the national and international stage, politician, and other ways. But we know him as a native son. We know him as a man who was born in our town, who grew up in the house and the place where his parents ran a business and had a pool hall and bar. We know him as the man who went through our school system, played golf at Daniel High School and graduated from Daniel High School. We know him as a man who came back here and was at one point an assistant coach in our rec league. I talked to a guy today who told me that he was his coach when he was playing rec ball for the town of Central. That we also know him for a short period of time as our town attorney. Did you know that? That he was our town attorney right out of law school for a short period of time. We know him as a man who served in the military, who then stepped out onto the stage of the state and of the nation and indeed of the world. But we also know him as a man who never forgot his hometown. He was here. He came here to announce his presidential campaign in 2016 right in front of his house because he wanted everyone to know where he was from and how it had formed him. He never forgot us. He helped us with issues. Two that I can think of. One was a person who moved here after having just gotten married, an American who had just gotten married to a Canadian in Canada, and her children were having trouble getting into the United States. They were a family divided. And we were able to call him and Mr. Scott, Senator Scott, and they helped to get that family reunited. And just recently, all of you should remember that we asked him for money for our new police station that we want to build. And he gave us $2 million in earmarked funds for that fire station and sent his representative here to be with us and to present that to our council. He never forgot us. So this was the man that we knew, the native son. And so I'm going to ask in just a moment that we have a moment of silence for him. And then because we are celebrating our 250th anniversary, I am going to read a prayer that George Washington sent to all the governors of the 13 states in 1783. So if you're able, I'll ask you to stand and we'll have a moment of silence for Senator Lindsey Graham. And now this prayer by George Washington. Almighty God, we make our earnest prayer that thou would keep the United States in thy protection, that thou would incline the hearts of the citizens to cultivate a spirit of subordination and obedience to government, and to entertain brotherly affection and love for one another and for their fellow citizens of the United States at large. And finally, that thou wilt most graciously be pleased to dispose us all to do justice, to love mercy, and to demean ourselves with that charity, humility, and pacific temper of mind which were the characteristics of the divine author of our blessed religion, without a humble imitation of whose example in these things we can never hope to be a happy nation. Grant our supplication, we beseech thee. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you. Be seated. Tonight we're here to have a public hearing, and it is concerning the 18-mile PUD major revision. The application is Youngblood Development. It's property that's located in the southwest corner of 18-Mile Road and South Carolina Highway 88. If you want to be very technical, it's tax map number 407400355969, 407400366483, and 40740036 8027 and 407400164323. And it is requested to a zoning of PUD R. I've asked Justin Reiki, who is the chair of our planning commission, if he would come and tell council just a little bit about what is going on here and what planning commission has done for this. Then we will give the opportunity for you to speak to this. You will have up to 3 minutes to address council on this. Remind you that this is a time to speak about this, excuse me, PUD R major revision. That this is not a time to discuss people or personalities or personnel issues, but the agenda item that is before us. Mr. Reiki, would you please talk to us a few minutes about this?
If I may I request Mr. Mike Foreman, the town planner? to
Sure.
join me? He's been providing briefings to the planning commission.
Okay,
as well,
great, thank you.
and graced us with his presence tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So very briefly, this PUD major revision that's before y'all, it's a planned unit development, it's a zoning district here in the town of Central, excuse me. What they're doing, what they're requesting is adding 3 small pieces of property to the existing plan development that was approved last year by y'all. What that would require, according to our ordinances, is what's called a major change to that plan development. So this necessitates us going before planning commission as well as before council as well. We treat it essentially like a rezoning. So if you want to think about it in the easiest terms, so we'll be annexing those properties and rezoning the PUD itself. So that's why we're here tonight. I'm
Okay.
happy to answer any questions.
Tell me what council's, the commission's actions have been concerning this.
Yes, sir. Commission recommended approval of the requests at their last commission meeting. I believe that was a unanimous vote to approve.
Okay, and there was public hearing at that meeting as well, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Correct.
And this takes 2 readings, correct?
Yes, sir. It does.
Right, so we will have a public hearing tonight, we will have first reading tonight, later on, and then at some other point have the second reading for that.
Yes, sir. If approved
Okay.
tonight, it would go for a second reading.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, great, all right. I think that's pretty helpful to everyone. I thank you. If you wouldn't mind, just in case anyone has any questions.
Yes, sir.
Just wait for a moment there, and we'll open the floor. If anybody has anything that they would like to say or question they'd like to ask about these properties being added to the PUD R, you have up to 3 minutes to address council. Okay, I don't. Sure. If you please just state your name and then I'll give you your 3 minutes.
Trip Brooks, reside at 201 Gaines Street. I think most of you guys know me at some point or another, so appreciate the opportunity to speak. I think I had mentioned a few times that there are still some concerns ongoing with the development that's in front of you today regarding infrastructure and provision of infrastructure. My reading of the statute would say that at the time when we rezone parcels or when we add to the existing plan, we still need to have the provisions available regarding sound provision of infrastructure, not providing burden to the rest of the community and things like that. So I think this is probably a really good chance within this process to stop and try and make some quantitative assessments regarding sewer and water capacity and other things that have been brought up before. So that's just my kind of thoughts as on process and on where I see the process. Certainly there's been a lot of rhetoric and other things that have been kind of interjected here. I wouldn't want to try and lean too far into that, but I do think this is probably a really good chance to try and assess in a numerical sense where exactly the capacity for some of the sewer stations, some of the water infrastructure and things like that is gonna be provided, and what types of funding mechanisms may be available there, and whether or not those are the shared responsibility of the town, or whether or not those might be the responsibility of the developer, so.
Great.
Thank
All
you
right,
for your time.
thank you. Any other comments, public comments concerning these 4 properties to be added as PUD R? All right, hearing no more, no one else coming to make comments, then this part of the meeting is adjourned. So we will adjourn the special called meeting on Monday, July 13th, public hearing for PUD R. So thank you so much. We will move now to our next meeting. Many of you are aware because of the 4th of July holiday, many people were away, so it necessitated us having 2 meetings tonight. And so we are moving to that. So this is the regular I turned one page too much. I was trying to get out of here or something. I don't know. This is council information meeting on Monday, July 13th, 2026. And I call this meeting of the council information meeting Monday, July 13th, 2026 to order at this time. So we've called to order. We've already had our invocation, and there are 3 sets of minutes for you. I hope that you have had a chance to review those and give your additions, corrections, editorial comments. There would be the council information meeting of Monday, July 1st, 2026, the special called meeting minutes of Monday, June 8th, 2026, and the regular council meeting minutes of Monday, June 8th, 2026. Are there any additions or corrections that you have not already given to the town clerk at this time?
No, sir.
Okay. Then those minutes will then be moved to our regular council meeting to be approved. Second on our agenda item is the comprehensive plan proposal. And we will ask Mr. Foreman if he would to come back and lead us in some discussion about a comprehensive plan proposal for the town.
Yes, thank you again, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I don't have anything formal prepared for y'all. It's more just wanted to offer my ability to come up here and talk to you about it a little bit. So as you all know, the comprehensive plan, as required by state of South Carolina, all counties and municipalities are required to update or revise their comprehensive plan every 10 years, at least every 10 years, and review every 5 years. So you guys are just at that 5-year, pretty close to that 5-year review timeframe now. And we've been talking about it with the Planning Commission as well, to get that process started to at the very least review the comp plan, and if additional updates are needed based upon the growth that the town of Central is seeing, we anticipate there probably would be some updating that would be required after that review is complete, that we could step into that as well and do that work and get that taken care of for the town.
Okay. Council, what kind of questions or comments, or what do we want to talk about?
Mr. Foreman, how long would this process be to go in and evaluate the comp plan and then get it to a point where, let's say, it's ready to be rewritten?
So it would depend. We could go in and with a fine tooth comb and look at it word for word. That's typically what we would do with a planning commission. We'd go in and either separate it out into 2 or 3 months, maybe break out there's 10 required chapters by state law. So we could break that out a few chapters a month and really dig in. The good thing is that we did review and update the land use chapter, which is usually the most labor intensive one recently. So we're in pretty good shape as far as land use is concerned. So the other 9 chapters probably would not be as labor intensive. So I would say at best case scenario would be a few months.
And if we went ahead and did a review and a rewrite of the comp plan, what type of expense would the town incur with that?
So the biggest thing would be my time. Would be depending on how deep we get into the process, that would be the town's biggest expense. Now, the last time, to my knowledge, we had a student at Clemson University in their Masters of City and Regional Planning, helping with that effort, and that certainly would help with the bottom line. And I would certainly welcome that help as well. They could do a lot of the work that would take a little bit of extra time to do on my side.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
What other questions, comments y'all have? I guess the question is that this falls within your committee, is that right? Was that where it would,
Yes, sir. Well, so, yeah, along
the
those lines.
planning commission, I'm guessing is, that's what I'm asking, is that?
Yes, sir, it would. So the planning commission is tasked with essentially writing the comprehensive plan. They do the review and the writing, and then y'all are the legislative authority that would adopt that plan. So yes, the most of the heavy lifting would come through the planning commission.
It seems to me that a good way to proceed here may be to ask the planning commission to come back to us with a timeline and how they might want to see this worked out. That they could bring it back to our August. Is that too soon to ask for it to come back to our August meeting? Okay. Do we need to take action on directing them to do that?
I don't think so. I mean, there's no money involved yet, right?
Right.
No. I think you've said it.
I think as mayor, I would ask that, I think it would be a good thing for the planning commission to work on that this month and bring something back to us at our August meeting that would show us what this might look like. Timeline, involvement, those kinds of things.
Yes, sir.
And
But I
Mr.
think
Mayor,
the
I
time for voting comes when there's a contract presented with a dollar amount, because none of this is in the budget. So if it were in the budget, then all you need to do is, it would have been approved in the budget process, but it hasn't been, so you'll have to vote on it eventually.
Mr. Peak?
I believe, as Mr. Foreman said, since the future land use map portion of it has been taken care of, and then we have got past the UDO, I think this is something that we definitely need to consider long and hard about finding some funding to be able to pay for this. So I definitely agree. It's something that's well worth looking for the funding for.
Well, once we hammer out a dollar amount, then, I can make recommendations as to where the funding comes from.
Okay. I tell you what, let's do this. This is information meeting, so we don't take action at information meetings, but we recommend what we would like to be on the agenda for action. Mr. Peak would, I think it would be okay to put it, well, I think it's okay for us to ask you to come back to us at our next work session with this timeline, so, and then we could take action on it at that point.
Yes, sir.
Is that good for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for keeping us on top of things. And thank you for your good work. We very, very much appreciate it. Item number 3 is Resolution 07-13-2026 loan assistance. Mr. Mishu, will you talk with us about this?
Yes, this is the sewer project that's going on, that's gonna be cranking up on Mawbridge. Part of the grant process is getting the loan assistance, and then the loan assistance getting forgiven through SRF. So the grants coordinator let us know that we hadn't done the resolution portion, so we just have to do the resolution. Should have been done 6 months ago, but they didn't realize that they didn't get the resolution to us. So that's gonna be on the agenda after this meeting.
Right.
So that's what that's about.
Okay. So it's part of the process for us continuing to do the water.
Sewer.
I mean, the sewer that
Yes.
that's being worked on.
It's the, down on, where the concrete and plaster used to be. I don't know, I've gotten a couple phone calls about, a bunch of pipe out there, and they wanna know what's going on. That pipe is what's gonna be going in down, Malden Road, and then going down Mawbridge, heading towards the sewer plant. They needed a place to stage it, and it was quite a bit, so, that was really the only place that it could be. So it's gonna be there, it should be completely gone in 3 months, but you'll start seeing it disappear, starting in August.
Okay, in the process, they didn't get this to us, they realized it, so now that we need to take action on it in the next meeting.
So before any other work actually starts, the resolution has to pass?
No, not necessarily. This is more of a paperwork glitch. It's not slowing anything down. It's just, the grants people have to have everything in their little packet to submit to Washington or wherever. And, when they were going through the packet, they realized that we hadn't done this resolution. So, it's not gonna slow it down any.
All right, so that will be on the agenda for our next meeting. So. All right, agenda item number 4 is concerning ordinance 08-10-2026, Unified Development Ordinance, or UDO, as we are like to call that. Mr. Peak, I'm going to let you talk to us about this.
Okay, as we all know, Mr. Foreman has worked very diligently along with the Planning Commission to get this Unified Development Ordinance written to the point where it's presented to council so we can take action on that. At the last meeting, we had a public hearing on this, and there was no negative comments, no pushback on the UDO and the adoption of it here within the town of Central. So it's just combining two documents that really didn't talk well between themselves, and Mr. Foreman has pulled those two documents together for us, and it's a great step for the community, for the town. When developers come in to the town, we can present them with a document saying, these are the steps that you have to follow in order to do business here within the town of Central. So it's a great day that we are able to present this to council for a vote.
Mr. Foreman, you want to come on down again? We might as well, it's sort of like a bottle of champagne. Once you pop the cork, you might as well drink it, you know? So you're here, we might as well use you. So talk to us just a little bit more about this. And there's a lot of people here, so they may want to know more about this as well.
Sure, and Mr. Peak hit the nail on the head. So what we've talked about, this is about a little over a year-long discussion that we've had, taking two documents, two sets of regulations that are currently housed in the town. They both deal with development, but they didn't talk to each other in every case. So there was a lot of potential for confusion, a lot of potential for things to happen along the way, along the development process that the town didn't need. So we went ahead, combined those two into one document. That's what we have here for y'all. It's essentially just a development ordinance. Any development that occurs in Central now follows this, or if adopted, will follow this ordinance. So it's important to understand. These aren't wholesale changes we've made to each document. Like I said, we combined the two into one. We did use this opportunity, though, to look under the hood and see where we can tweak some things and make some things run a little bit better, make things a little bit easier to understand, not only for the staff, not only for developers, but for the community as well. With the ultimate idea being that if anybody has a question about something that's going on in the town, development related, it's much easier now, or will be much easier, to open this document and find what you're looking for, I think. That's the ultimate goal. So again, we didn't make wholesale changes. We tweaked some things under the hood. We did some things that I think will help, ultimately, will help Central for folks doing business here in the town. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I know y'all have been, exceptional to work with. The Planning Commission has really done some heavy lifting as well to make sure that this document is at the point that it's at. We've had some real good feedback from everybody involved, so I'm happy to answer any additional questions that y'all have.
And if I may, Mr. Foreman, one thing that our current regulations did not have was a flow chart, which you were able to put into the UDO, and that just shows a layperson step by step by step how things need to flow.
Yes, sir. Color coordinated flow chart. That's always something that a lot of people, or myself included, are visual, much more visual rather than having to read through a heavy document. So try to make it as easy as possible for the layperson to be able to follow along with and to figure out what's going on when they see something coming up before you guys. Makes it a little bit easier for them.
Would you speak just a moment, again, just so other people can hear and people who may be watching us and stuff, that there are actually two areas, really, one of what happens before stuff gets built,
Sure.
and then another one that regulates what happens sort of above the ground, if we want to say it that way. Could
Yes.
you just speak to those?
Yeah,
for us?
absolutely. So the analogy I like to go with, generally what you think of when you think of land development regulations or the current LDR, it's going to be at grade or below grade. So if you think about, you take a piece of paper, you've got your property on it, you cut it up into multiple pieces, that's a subdivision, that's at grade. You think about building the standards for new roads that are going into your community. If you build a new street, those standards are housed in the LDR, that's at grade or below. If you think about easements, same idea, it's everything at grade or below. If you think about zoning, that's above ground, that's vertical. So you think about how far a building should set back on a property, that's above grade. You think about how much parking is required for that use, it's above grade typically. How your lights shine, the street lights, how they're gonna shine, we make sure they don't pollute the night sky, that's above grade. So that's sort of a good shorthand rule of thumb that land development regulations are below grade or at grade. Zoning is above grade. But again, they're both two sides of the same coin. It's all development related. So they were written separately and they were revised over time separately, so they got to a point where they just didn't talk to each other in certain aspects. This is changing that. This is bringing them all under one roof.
So a couple of questions that have come to me that I told people I would try to address is, one is, in some ways, this really decides how we want our town to look.
Yes, sir.
And how our town to feel. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, how it looks, how it functions, yes, sir.
Because you're talking about keeping trees, and you're talking about setbacks and riparian buffers and things like that. So this really is a vital part of saying, this is the kind of town that we want to live in, the kind of community we want to be a part of.
Yes, sir, you're making it loud and clear with this one voice, that this is how we'd like our community to function and to look.
Second question that I've had from some people is, what happens to stuff that's already here? So in other words, when this is adopted, it begins then and goes forward? Is that how it works?
It does, yes. So everybody that is currently in Central, either residing in Central, has a business in Central, they're grandfathered in if they don't meet the current requirements. So they would be grandfathered in ad infinitum.
Okay. And then going forward, this is how we go.
Yep.
This is our playbook.
Any new development or any major changes to existing development.
Okay. Those are the questions that have come to me, and said I would pass along. So what other questions council have?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say, Mr. Foreman and Mr. Reiki and the Planning Commission, I've spent many, many hours going through this. For you public out there, this is the UDO, 150-some pages of it. So if you want to look at how we're going to be building things, it's in here. And I do appreciate the I don't want to say courage, but to put in things like tree size and reparations for tree demolition when clear cutting is used, and just as Mr. Mayor said about the riparian borders and how we should treat the land and environment that is going to be developed. It is something that has been neglected in the past and needs to be addressed, and I think has been addressed in this document. It is very lengthy, and I'm glad we went through the changes we did over the last year before I was on board, and now it's very extensive and very to the point.
All right, we didn't reproduce these for everybody on council. We put the link onto our website. So if you want to read it, and you can download it. If you want to print it, that's on you. But again, you may learn things like I did, like DBH, diameter at breast height, for how you look at trees and things like that. So, wow, that's some good things. All right, and again, I want to say thank you to you and to Mr. Reiki for leading us through this process. We'll be voting, having first reading of this in the next meeting, so thank y'all. Thank y'all, thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, under our information meeting, we're down to item number 5. And this is a request for $8,500 from hospitality tax for the Diamond Baseball State Games. Mr. Griffin, would you like to say anything more about this?
Yes, sir. I've spoken with Tom Clover a good bit about this, and there are going to be a lot of families bringing their children to this event. Like I say, it's a statewide thing, and it's coming to Nettles Park. And the $8,500 is going to be used for things such as paying umpires, meals for some of the kids, refreshments, things like that. Incidentals that come along with putting on a big event like this. Clemson University is going to allow us to use their softball field for part of the time that they're here. And it's going to be a huge event for us, and I think the $8,500 will be well spent. putting on this event.
Okay, and we, we have that money in our hospitality fund, and we have done this before. It's in cooperation with the town of Clemson, and it brings a lot of people into our town and revenue, so, okay. So we'll put that on the agenda for our next meeting. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I
Yes,
may.
sure.
I'm all in favor of providing the funds for our youth programs, but my only question would be, we knew this event would be coming up, and why was this expense not addressed within the budget at that point in time for the rec center?
Maybe the rec department?
You mean for the rec department?
Yes.
Mr. Clore is the one that's in charge of that, and he's usually here to ask that, but because it's hospitality tax, my understanding is it has to be asked for, as opposed to, just being included as part of the budget.
Okay. And I didn't know if it would have been something, since we knew this event would be held, if it would have just been a regular type line item within the budget, when the budget was discussed, a few months ago.
I don't know if it was oversight on his part, so I don't know.
Okay.
I would guess it was probably an oversight in his rec budget. 'Cause
Okay.
But,
it should come out of the rec budget.
And like I said, I'm all in favor of providing the funds. It was just a question that I thought up, just now, so.
A good question. It's
Yeah,
a good question.
it's a
Just
good question.
don't have Tom here.
Also, the hospitality fund is designated for those events that bring people to town, that make them accessible to all the amenities that our town offers. So it does fall under that
Right.
umbrella or that rubric.
And those are, I think those are state games. I don't think we do those every year.
No.
My guess is Tom was probably anticipating that he would request hospitality when the time came.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, that completes our agenda for our council information meeting on Monday, July 13th, 2026, and so this meeting is adjourned. We have our next meeting. I am going to say we're going to take 5 minutes before our next meeting to give people a chance to take a biological break or whatever it is that they need to. And we will start back. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, you'll just hear a lot of stuff going on for the next 5 minutes. So it's 7:11. So 7:16, I'll call the next meeting to order. Okay? Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Let's just take a quick break.
Sorry, I stand up. No, always stand up.
I just, what do I just pull my stuff right there?
Well, I think I breathe.
No, this is, okay, you're done with this. Okay. All right, you're done with this. All right, where's your agenda?
Somewhere. I thought I was right on my agenda.
Lord have mercy. Here. Okay. Well, no, because then you'll mess me up.
I don't want to mess with you. Come
Well,
right
I
to the
was
bathroom
gonna
real
It's a
quick.
little late for that.
That's not bad.
I'm just,
I'm going to that mess.
You're good, go ahead, take off.
I'm just messing with you, Jessica.
I know. Let me.
But you did, it was out of, hey, you did a good job with it.
It was not out of order.
No, it was just thick.
I just work on
Shorthand.
therapy today, got it again tomorrow.
You still need it.
It's get it about right here. Got it.
We can get it on up, but it might.
Yeah, I'm past that. You pick me up out the floor too.
You're right.
I'm serious.
You're right. They get it, I'm gonna pull them in.
No, you're not. We can't have that. We would be setting ourselves up for a major malfunction.
Exactly right.
But I don't know who else is. Really? Oh, really? I mean, that Sorry.
Strike two. Don't get me, don't have to want to do it.
Run one by me, I can feel good about it.
I'll try for it.
No, I'll take it. Although we may have to bring sleeping bags in here. Was you on here with him? Huh? You what?
I didn't have to be, because it came through my yard. He was driving through my yard one time. Rolled my horn on him. Let me tell you, boy. All I got. Everything say, come on down there.
He called me the day before yesterday. How you gonna go over with your
Wait to see. It pays for the bill. It pays for that rent department. It pays for the bill. That's the only key I see. You can hear. I don't like that. You can't hear.
It says it's on the tape. We don't have to do nothing. That's right. That's another issue. We talking,
And in order to do something, you're gonna make a program. Every time you shoot that.
that's right. Either you want to do it or not.
Yeah, would you do mine still? I just messing with you. I got mine. I just pulled mine out, my personal stuff. And then I'm gonna roll with the flow. Just don't ask me no question about nobody else.
Don't ask me no question either.
But, it's to the point where we got to.
Yeah, that's why I said, I need a bigger clip. See that little pilly thing? You got that little pilly thing on that? No, I don't even buy it. This is the smallest I have.
Well, I didn't ask what they told me, but I'm just assuming that we didn't know for sure. Maybe at the time.
Yeah, the Daughters of the Revolution came here for the SCTV.
Somewhere else.
They got a picture taken right before the 6:30 meeting, and then they gave us feathers, quills.
But I'm just guessing. I don't.
This is pretty cool. I feel like
It's yours.
Yes.
random meeting on stuff like the fancy.
I gave mine away, so that was you were. They're pretty cool. I don't have a place. It was right before 6:30.
Surprise, Bruce, where's Tom?
He's on vacation.
I'm not. We wasn't talking about you. We talking about something else. I hadn't seen you in so long. I used to come by here and holler at you.
I told her, just come drink, just come sit with me. I mean,
I used to come and just babysit and watch Susan. She was that transition. Now she grown. Now she grown. She grown.
I'll stay out of here.
So the other day. we get separated, and I was having a major meltdown. And Josh came in, the manager come in and go, you need to go to her office. She is, she's
When I go in there, I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. I guess I draw the stress out there.
Well, my thing is, like, I know if I mess something up, it's gonna trickle down on him and y'all, and I ain't gonna do that.
We the team.
But
You still a rookie. You still a rookie.
I am, I'm still green, very green.
We're gonna get there.
Eventually, yes,
We're gonna get there.
we'll get there.
I need it. I wanted 2 king size beds. I wanted 2 king size beds. 2 king size beds. One mattress. I got everything else. That's okay.
I didn't know it online either.
We're gonna be all right. Then that way she can have one and I have one.
Just that way.
How it's supposed to work.
No, no.
I sent all y'all, your part authorizations online, so you should be good to go.
Okay. All right. Just wait. You just wait. I'm not done. Oh. Thank you. All right, everyone, it's time for us to come to order. All right, it's time for us to have the regular council meeting, Monday, July 13th, 2026. And I call this regular council meeting Monday, July 13th, 2026 at 7:21 to order. We've already had the invocation, and so I will invite you to stand, and we will say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we will say the Pledge of Civility. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Pledge of Civility that we are encouraged to say by the Municipal Association. I pledge to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of my town. Thank you. Next up on our item, agenda item, Chair moves that we accept council information meeting minutes from Monday, July the 1st, 2026 as amended.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and second that we accept council information meeting minutes from Monday, July 1st, 2026.
Mayor, if I may, I was thinking it was June 1st, 2026.
Did I say June?
You said July.
July, June. Let me go back. We've had a motion and support for council information meeting for Monday, June 1st, 2026. Any discussion on that? All those in favor of accepting council information meeting minutes from Monday, June 1st, 2026, please raise your hand. That's 6. Opposed? It carries. Chair moves that we accept special called meeting minutes that occurred at 6:45 PM on Monday, June 8th, 2026.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second that we accept the special called meeting minutes at 6:45 PM, Monday, June 8th, 2026. Any discussion about that? We've given those over. All right, all those in favor of accepting special called meeting minutes, 6:45 PM, Monday, June 8th, 2026, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Chair makes a motion that we accept regular council meeting minutes of Monday, June 8th, 2026.
Second.
All right. There's been moved and seconded. Any comments or issues on that? All those in favor of accepting regular council meeting minutes of Monday, June 8th, 2026, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? There's not, and that passes. I want everyone to be quite aware that I'm not asking people to raise their right hand because Mr. Griffin can't. And our last meeting, I kept saying, raise your right hand, and he kept putting himself in pain trying to get his hand up there. And so he did. So we're saying, raise your hand. Next on the agenda is public session. We set aside at least 30 minutes when members may come and speak for up to 3 minutes. This is a time for you to express your thoughts to the council, and this is not a time to discuss people or personalities or personnel issues. And this is not a time for council to enter into debate or discussion, but this is a time for us to listen respectfully to your observations. And a reminder that specific items that are not listed on the agenda, please note that council is unable to deliberate or take action on any comments made during this time of the meeting that are not on the agenda. But if you have specific questions, I would encourage you to speak to one of the council members, to speak to me, the town administrator. At the conclusion of this meeting, my business cards are there so that you can pick them up so that you have all the ways of getting that information. Or you can email any member of council. And so we are entering now to this public session where people sign in. I have one person that has signed in for this. That's Mr. Jack Queener.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening to you and the members of the council. I want to address the TIF ordinance that's before you tonight. And I've said many times in many different forums that it's a bad deal for the citizens, and nobody from the town has communicated anything different from that. You haven't told the citizens what a good deal it is and what wonderful things that passing this TIF and these bond issues are going to do for the citizens, because there's nothing you can tell them. They've just been told very little. Maybe you should explain to them why the consultants and the administrator keep referring to backstops and those bond issues needing backstops to try to protect the citizens from having to pay off the bonds or for you having to choose bankruptcy for the town, because all those things are on the table based on the things that I've heard, and you know that I've sat in on almost all of the meetings, And I've been there when the consultants were talking, and they keep talking about backstops and bankruptcies. And by the way, the TIF ordinance that's in your package tonight, unless it's changed from what was posted at 5:10 p.m. on Friday, it is not valid. It's just another piece of exceptional work by your town administrator, except it's really not. If you read carefully, you will see that it erroneously includes Pickens County and the school district of Pickens County as contributing tax districts. That's on page 9 of that document that's in your folder. So I think your guy just sent you back to the drawing board. You'll have some issues if you pass that tonight, because that's not what Pickens County said they would do, and that's not what the school district of Pickens County said they were willing to do. They both said, no thanks, we won't play your little TIF game. So the pie in the sky of the TIF that the guy was talking about $100 million bond issues less than a year ago, that pie in the sky is now looking more like a little Debbie cookie. So, you know, several of you had no idea that the town was out of sewer capacity until I started asking questions and sharing what I learned. The town administrator claimed that, oh, he's been all over that since 2021 when the DHEC informed him that the town was essentially out of capacity at the 18-mile road plant. So I'm curious if y'all have even seen the capital improvement plan, because the capital improvement plan doesn't say anything about sewer expansion. Capital improvement plan was passed in 2023, November to be exact, and it says nothing about sewer plant expansion. It says nothing about a water tower. So, you know, tonight what I see your town administrator chasing shiny baubles like water towers, and the folks over on College Street are looking for the next time the water will bubble up in the middle of their street, and the town administrator will send a crew over there to put some duct tape on another leak on that old galvanized line that y'all have been patching for 20 years. And then the folks over there will be waiting for the next spot to fail. I think the common language these days is rinse and repeat. So, and I'm really curious as to whether the
Your
town
three
has-
minutes are up, Mr. Queener. Thank you.
May I finish my question, sir?
Finish the question.
I'm curious to know if the town has tested the water that's passing through that line on College Street as to whether it's safe for the citizens to drink.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
All right, no one else signed in to speak, so that ends our public session. Receipt and disposition of petitions. Do we have any receipt and dispositions at this time, Mr. Administrator?
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We will now move to reports from council committees. So I will ask Mr. Evett if he would talk to us about finance and marketing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before every council meeting, I always send a list of questions in to the town administrator, so everyone's prepared and we can get the answers that I'm looking for. This time, the person was ill and they were unable to get all the questions answered. So at the next time of our council meeting, I should have a full report on this meeting and the next meeting. And just as we talked about the hospitality tax, just so everyone's aware, there's a current balance of $492,715 in it.
Great. Thank you, sir. And we're all concerned that our finance director is sick and not able to be here, so I appreciate that. Any questions?
What was that number for the hospitality tax balance?
$492,715.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
492,000. Mr. Moss,
Yes, sir.
you speak to us about public streets and public safety, please, sir.
Central Fire Department, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Central Fire
Yes.
Department covered 53 calls over the last month, and have been very much involved in some community outreach, such as Trinity Wesleyan fireworks display and Central Car Show and Shop with the Heroes fundraisers and the 4th of July celebration at Bowling. The upcoming events they will be during the next couple of weeks. They'll be visiting 7 vacation Bible schools and Touch a Truck is one of their next activities. Our code enforcement officer had 16 investigating offenses this month, and we're keeping them pretty busy, keeping them jumping. And for the police department, they had 3,358 active calls last month. That's all I have, man.
Great. Any questions for Mr. Moss and Streets Public Safety? I just want to point out that we do have a part-time code enforcement officer and who has made a tremendous impact on our town. And if you drive down Church Street, you'll see cars being picked up and collected over there. That's county, it's not city. But he is working with the county to make them aware of some of the things, and so that's being addressed. So I just can't thank him enough for that. And if you have a chance to talk with him, you might need 5 or 10 minutes because he'll talk to you. But he goes to people and talks with them, and he doesn't go in just immediately saying this is what he's saying. Can we address this? And I'll come back in 2 weeks, and has made tremendous progress. So I'm very happy for that. All right, Enterprise, that's normally our other council member, but she has resigned, so I'll just be making that report tonight. Just to let you know that for the month of June, the Water and Sewer Department completed 150 work orders. All the meters were read on June 16th, and then rechecks were done on the 17th through the 26th. 31 customers were on the disconnection list for non-payment, and of those 31, 24 have been reconnected. And both residential and commercial sanitation ran its normal schedule for the month of June. Have any questions about?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I was wondering on the water reconnects, have we gotten into finding a way to keep those folks water on that have issues with their finances or fixed incomes, et cetera?
Yes, we're still working with them, and we're still working with 2 people and an entity that's going to start doing some education and helping with those people so that we can keep that going.
Great.
They haven't committed completely to it at this point, so I don't want to say it out loud. But and also, let's just say if you don't have the app, you need to download the app that we have for Area 1 because it's Radio Read, and I was on vacation and had not been using my water. I called my son-in-law and said, would you go over and water my plants because I hear it's burning up there. And so he said, sure. He came over and he watered all my plants, and my phone dinged and said I had a leak in my house. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Oh no. And about 10 minutes later, my son-in-law texted me and said, I just finished watering your plants. It took about an hour to get them all watered. And then my phone dinged and said, leak is corrected. So it was that sensitive that we weren't there for some days and using water, and all of a sudden a lot of water started getting used in the day. And so so if you don't have it, you need to call us, you need to see us, download the app. It's really great. It's really worth it. It's free, so use that. All right, let's go to recreation with Mr. Griffin.
Yes, sir. The Central Tigers football and cheerleading have started with conditioning and will move to full pads and practice at the end of July. The football Super Saturday will be August 29th with games at 10 a.m., 11:30, and 1 p.m. The annual Meet the Central Tigers football players and cheerleaders will take place Monday, August the 17th at 6:30 at Bolick Field. We're asking for everyone to come out for autographs, pictures, and a special guest speaker. The Central Parks and Recreation Department is requesting $8,500 from hospitality tax to support the Central Clemson Diamond Baseball State Tournament in June. Teams from across the state will be in town for up to a week. They'll be competing for the title of state champion and a chance to advance to the Diamond Baseball World Series held in Mississippi. The indoor recreation report will be sent separately.
Okay.
And so also at this time, I would just like to make a motion that we set aside this $8,500 from the hospitality tax to help fund this state tournament.
Okay, there's a motion to request $8,500 from hospitality tax for the Diamond Baseball State Games. Is there support?
Second.
Okay, there's some motion and support. Is there any discussion on this item? All those in favor of us giving $8,500 from hospitality tax to the Diamond Baseball State Games, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? No opposed, and so it carries.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Mr. Peak with planning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With Planning Commission working so diligently to get the UDO wrapped up and finalized, there's not much to report from the Planning Commission, with the exception that Springwood Grove had one building permit issued during the month with 4 certificates of occupancy issued. The Eagle Creek subdivision had one building permit issued with no letters of occupancy presented. And that's all I have tonight, sir.
Okay, and the ODU will come up later in our
Yes, sir.
meeting. Okay, any questions for Mr. Peak?
Yeah, if I may, Curtis, with the building permits, I notice over in Springwood Grove, all the foundations are poured. Does that constitute a building start? Or where does that begin, when they start framing?
I would have to get that information for you, Mr. Berry.
Okay.
I do not have that answer.
All right, I just noticed the foundations throughout.
Right. And in past meetings, I did not have that information to present, so they might have been issued in months past, and I just did not have that information.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, tourism, economic development, Mr. Berry.
I'd like to say the first item is our celebration on Independence Day that we had on the 3rd of July at Bolick Field. It certainly outpaced my expectations on the Friday of that weekend. It has a great time. We had the stage set up. We had a reading of the Declaration of Independence. We had the hot dog eating contest and pie competition, and it was just a phenomenal event. I don't know how many people were there. I'd say 150 at least throughout the town. I don't know if it was any way of getting a count. I just know with the vendors we had and the food that was given away, it was just a great time had by all. We're already looking at next year's event and what we can do better to expand it. I've been meeting with Mr. Clore to go over that and looking at more space for it. It was an extremely hot evening, but we flipped from where we were originally gonna set up and set up on the opposite side of the field in the shade, so it wasn't quite as bad. And thank you to the fire department for their water shower for the kids at the end. That was exciting as all get out. Next thing we're looking at is, again, I was meeting with Mr. Clore, and our lighting contract for Christmas lights and the lights on the building is coming to a close soon. And we're looking at alternatives and a possible new lighting contractor that may be less expensive. We'll go through that. Probably by September, we should know where we're going with that. Trunks and Trains, scheduled for Saturday, October 31st, 1 to 4 p.m. We'll be working with the rec department and all the other entities concerned, fire and police, and getting that all situated. That's always a good one, well attended. We're looking further into September, October on a Clemson away game to work with Central Police, fire departments, and our Punishers Law Enforcement Motorcycle Group to start getting our Shop with a Cop funds put together. If anybody remembers, we had, I think, we had 60-some kids last year.
It was over 150 kids.
150 kids. And we anticipate the same number, maybe more this year. So we're getting that going. We're looking at, band may have already agreed to donate their time and talents in a concert to help promote that, so we'll keep you posted on that one. That's all I have, sir.
Again, I want to thank everyone. The count that I heard for July 4th, there was a little over 300 people who attended. So thank everyone who was there, who participated, and Catherine Brooks, Doug Berry, Tom Clore. It was an amazing event. If you came, you got free hot dog, you could get free potato chips, you could get free water, you could get free lemonade, you could get a free popsicle, you could get your face painted for free. Caramel corn, and free balloon animal, and free shower at the end. It was a one-stop shop for families, and everybody really enjoyed it. So thank you again for that.
And Mr. Mayor, if I
Yes.
may, I know some people might not have social media that's present or watching online, the streaming video, but who were our winners for the pie eating contest and the hot dog eating contest?
Ms. Nancy King won the blackberry pie competition. I will say my wife came in third on that with the first blackberry pie she's ever made. And I wasn't voting. The hot dog eating competition was interesting. You know, you watch Joey Chestnut on TV and he has 10 minutes and he puts away 50-some or 60-some hot dogs. So we did 3 minutes, and our winner put away 5.5 hot dogs, and it is complete with roll and water to wash it down. I don't have the names of the winners for that in front of me. I know it was a younger gentleman, probably 18 or so.
Yeah.
But that was well received by the crowd, and everybody was cheering them on as they went. I mean, that was something to behold.
Thank you.
And let's correct it. It was a blackberry pie baking contest, not eating contest. Nancy King won the baking contest. She may be disturbed if we say that she won the eating contest. She did not. She won the blackberry pie baking contest. So, thank you. All right. New business. We don't have any new business at this time. Old business, no old business at this time. Next is item 7, introduction and consideration of new ordinances, policies, proclamations, and resolutions. And this is when we are looking at ordinance 0810-2026, Unified Development Ordinance, or also known as the UDO, that you have heard us talk about. Is there a motion?
I move that we adopt on first reading ordinance 0810-2026, Unified Development Ordinance, UDO.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. This is first reading. I want to remind you, Because it is an ordinance, that means there will have to be a public hearing and also a second reading. So this is first reading, just means it gets it out there so that we can then start to work our way through it in a methodical way. Any questions, comments from council about the UDO?
And once again, I'd like to thank Mr. Foreman and all of the planning commission for their hard work, their diligence in getting this ordinance written, drafted, and presenting it to council for a vote tonight.
All right, then there's a motion and second before us. So all those in favor of accepting on first reading ordinance 08-10-2026 Unified Development Ordinance UDO, in favor of this, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? No opposed, and so that passes unanimously. Next on our agenda is Resolution 07-13-2026 Loan Assistance. Is there a motion? Chair makes a motion that we pass Resolution 07-13-2026 Loan Assistance.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. I just remind you that this is a part of the loan application process that is going on. It says authorizing and approving the acceptance of certain loan assistance monies from the South Carolina Water Quality Revolving Fund Authority, that authorizing the mayor to execute that certain loan assistance agreement between the town of Central and the South Carolina Water Quality Revolving Fund Authority and other matters relating thereto. And this will complete the packet for the project that we have going on. Any questions, comments about this? All those in favor of adopting Resolution 7-13-2026 Loan Assistance, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? No opposed. And it passes unanimously. Next is ordinance number 8-10-2026, rezoning of parcel 4074-00-35-5969, 138 M&M Road. This would be first reading. Is there a motion?
I move that we adopt ordinance 0810-2026, rezone of parcel 4074-0035-5969, 138 M&M Road on first reading.
Second.
Okay, you hear it, it's before you. Is any questions or comments about this from council? All those in favor of ordinance number 08-10-2026, rezoning of parcel 4074-00-35-5969 at 138 M&M Road, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? There's none opposed. It passes unanimously on first reading. Second, Chair moves that we adopt ordinance 08-10-2026, rezoning of parcel 4074-00-36-6883, 1620 18 Mile Road.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by council on this
Is
one?
it, Mr. Mayor, is that rezoning parcel, is it the end number 6483 or 6883 on the tax map?
6483.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the one I'm looking at, is 6483. Okay, there's been a motion and second. All those in favor of passing on first reading ordinance 08-10-2026, rezoning of parcel 4074-00-36-6483, 1620 18 Mile Road, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes, opposed no, none opposed, and it passes on first reading. Next, we come to ordinance. Our chair makes a motion that we accept ordinance 08-10-2026, rezoning of parcel 4074-00-36-8027, 1648 18 Mile Road.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion and second. Any discussion on this one? This is on first reading as well. All those in favor of adopting ordinance 08-10-2026, rezoning of parcel 4074-00-36-8027, 1648 18 Mile Road, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes, any opposed? None opposed, and that passes on first reading. The chair moves that we adopt ordinance 08-10-2026, rezoning of parcel 4074-00-16-4323 Willy Wonka.
Second.
All right. Any questions or discussions about that one?
I do have a question.
Okay.
Since all of these are kind of tied together in the permit petition form, does this parcel number need to be on these forms?
No.
Okay.
What you, let me stop. What are you looking at?
The Planning and Codes Administration zoning permit application and the percent petition form. It's got the other three, but not this one.
No, that was just for your backup. I think Willy Wonka, you're talking about Willy Wonka, I think Willy Wonka's already in. Might want to ask, is Mike Wonka still there?
He is.
Yes. Yes. Mike, would you mind addressing this for us?
Could you repeat that question for me?
So on all of these, the parcel numbers are all listed, but this one, Willy Wonka, is not on.
Yes, sir. So for the first three that y'all were reading, those are being annexed into the town. The Willy Wonka property is already in the town, and you're just revising the zoning.
Yeah.
I was correct when I was telling you.
I just didn't hear that. Yes, sir.
You just verified.
Good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion on that one? All those in favor of passing on first reading ordinance 08-10-2026, rezoning of parcel 4074-00-16-4323 Willy Wonka, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? None opposed, and so that one passes unanimously. Next, we come to consideration of ordinances and policies that are already in the possession of council. These are second readings that we will be looking at here. The chair moves that we adopt on second reading policy 07-13-2026, base rates, water sewer amended, second reading.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and there's a second. Any discussion or questions from council on this one? These are the basic rates that we charge for sewer and for water. And they've been publicized, been figured into our budget, and now come up for our second reading. Remember that we just get our water from Easley Central, and if they raise our rates, we have to raise rates. It's just a pass-through for that, so. All right, since there's a motion and second, no more discussion. All those in favor of adopting on second reading policy 07-13-2026, base rates water sewer amended on second reading, please raise your right hand, or please raise your hand. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? Not opposed, and so it passes unanimously. All right. This next concerns sanitation charge for picking up garbage with carts. The chair moves that we adopt on second reading policy 07-13-2026 RS on second reading.
Second.
Okay. This again is our second reading. We've had it out there for a couple of months and concerns pickup of garbage, carts, costs for that. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of accepting policy 07-13-2026 RS on second reading, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? None, and so that passes unanimously. Our next item is the chair moves that we accept on second reading policy 07-13-2026 SANT-tipping for commercial on second reading.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion or comments on this? For those that may not understand what we're talking about, sanitation tipping, this is what we charge for pickup from industrial. Is that how we, yeah, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Administrator, I'm Mr. Mayor. so.
The tipping fee is charged by the county landfill for commercial trash.
Right.
So the tipping fee only applies to commercial trash that we pick up.
Okay.
That
So-
too is a pass-through.
Right, so what's charged us is what we have to charge them because they charge us to tip it into the landfill.
Right.
All right, all those in favor of adopting policy 07-13-2026 SANT-tipping, please raise your hand. 2, 3, 4. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? No. That leads us to item D, under consideration of ordinances and policies already in the possession of council. And the chair moves that we accept on second reading ordinance number 07-13-2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area on second reading.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and there's a second. Is there any comments from council on this one?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Berry.
I prepared a statement against this. As y'all well know, I am been voting against this, and I will continue to do so. The proposal for a TIF has been on the minds of a large percentage of town residents, many, including the people here sitting in front of y'all, don't know and can't see all of the ramifications of this project in the future and how it will affect the town for generations to come. We've heard explanations of what it might do and how it'll affect things, but I do not see it the same way. I think this project is a good project. It's great. It has a lot of potential. It involves a lot of green space, a lot of generations of people that will be living there, but I do not think that a TIF is the way to go. The 18-mile village is probably the largest housing development to come into Central in possibly the 150 years it's been here. As I said, the developer and his backers have a marvelous plan laid out incorporating the senior housing and retail spaces. I do believe that this will put an extra burden on everyone in the town if we end up having to use a TIF. I'd prefer to keep it off the table. There will be tax increases, not immediately, but they will occur because of the weight put on the existing town residents for fire, police, and EMS services while it is being built. It will take 5 to 12 years to be built out. As we know, the percentage of the population in Central that is at or below poverty level is ranging around 30%, and these folks are living on meager fixed incomes and can't afford any tax increases. The number of new homes and roads, people will undoubtedly put a massive strain on the services provided, and this will affect the town, the county, and other local towns. And that is a positive thing. It will be affected, there's no doubt about it. In order to keep up with the fire, public works, and schools, there's no part of a TIF that can be used for anything other than the project building and infrastructure. It will not cover manpower, equipment, or service from trash collection to 911 calls, et cetera. As we know, both the county and the school district have voted to have no part in this. So I think the town should rethink what we're doing, and we as the elected officials need to look at every available answer to handle and look at the anticipated growth. We don't need a quick fix, and I think that's what the TIF district is. It's a determining factor in how the money is spent. There may not be a direct increase to the property millage rate for existing homeowners, but we will be into picking up the costs, as I said, incurred while that is being built out. There are other vehicles to pay for water, sewer, and road infrastructure. The South Carolina TIF laws apply to this project, and as I've stated in other times, the but-for rule, the development can be built without the need for a TIF. The but-for says the only way that he can do it is but for the TIF, and it can be done without the TIF. There is also specific language covered by the TIF as far as undeveloped, aging, economically lagging, or lacking infrastructure for a TIF to apply. I do not think that language applies to this area, as it was farmland. It still is farmland on parts of it. I don't think we can use it. In closing, let me just say that there's a couple of intangibles here. Development is coming to Central. It's already been here for approximately 10 to 12 years. Central is Central. We're not Clemson, we're not Greenville, we're not Pendleton or Seneca or Malden or Lawrence or Dacusville. We're Central. And if we want to stay that way as a small town and feeling like a small town, we need to use the money in the town budget for the town in a manner that is in line with the needs of the small town feel and the people in that area. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. Any other comments from council?
I do have questions, and it is on page 9. And the contribution percentage that is currently written, does that mean Pickens County would, the way it is written, does communicate as if Pickens County would pay along with the school district of Pickens County?
I think I can answer this question. This document had to be submitted actually months ago for legal review and for process. And they have to ask us how we would, if it played out the way we wanted it, what would it sort of look like? And so at that point, we said, if the county participates, this is how much there would be. If the school district would participate, this is how much there would be. We now know that they are not going to participate. So that would, those numbers then would not be in effect. Is that correct, Mr. Administrator?
I'm trying to get to page 9.
After I read through it, I've kept going on. and
Table
it
C,
say-
the contribution of taxing district.
After reading past that, I didn't see
Where's
anything that
that?
said if it didn't go, that it
Where's my
would
page?
resort or revert back to X.
Yeah, my understanding is that we have to, that it's a complicated legal process that we have to present everything to them. There's a list in here that says something like $60 million. That doesn't mean we're asking for $60 million. It means that they ask us, we have to put in there what we might want to spend that money on if we were to use the TIF. And so we put in a wish list. We put in, here's all the things that if we had it, all the money, this is what we would do, we would use. Knowing full well at that time that that's probably not going to be the money that we would have available to us or even any, but then we could then pare that down if we continue to go with the TIF. I just want to remind everybody that tonight we aren't voting on money. We're voting on creating an overlay. Mr. Administrator.
I pulled up page 9. The mayor's correct on, this had to be done real early on. We have to present this document as is and then present it to the county and present it to the school district. So, though that's gonna stay in the body, The other reason that they're staying in there is you're talking about a 25-year process. This is year 0. So at any time, as long as they stay in the document, maybe 4 years from now, the school district and the county want to participate in the TIF. They'll be able to because they're in the original document. So all the county or the school district will have to do is pass their own ordinance that says, we're going to join the TIF that Central has created. If we don't keep them in here, and we can take them out, we can take them out or leave them in, both is legal. If we take them out, then we have to go through this whole process again to allow them to join with us. So it's okay to leave it in. And that's the words from the attorney.
Yes.
Because I asked him, I said, we know these 2 entities are not participating. Do we need to take them out? And he said no.
So if 15 years down the road, Pickens County School District wanted to participate in it, all they have to do is say, we want to participate in it, or do they have to come to us and we have to vote on it?
They have to come to us. I don't know what the process is, whether we have to vote on anything, but they would create an ordinance saying that we want to participate in the 18-mile village TIF district. And then once they have voted, then they're in. Now, whether the process includes us voting for anything, for them to do it, I don't know. I don't think so because they're already in here. They just need to notify us that they do want to participate.
Also, I would remind all of us, you may be tired of me saying this, but that would be a step way down the line. That would assume that we would at some point say we want to enact the TIF, and then we would go through the process of doing that, which is not what we're doing tonight. Tonight, we are establishing the TIF district that keeps it as an option on the table, that at some further date, we may want to use that.
When we left the last meeting where we're information gathering, I was gonna vote no, all the way through. And something they said during the meeting, and then a nice photo that went around while I was on my honeymoon, something stuck out where it said, Pickens County is not participating, school district isn't participating, which I don't know why that sent off a light bulb, but it did. So correct me if I am wrong. Let's just say that that whole area was worth $100 million, and the max, once it was there to be $100 million, since the school district isn't participating, Pickens County isn't participating, then that $100 million might be there if they all participated, or we all participated. But without them, it would basically say that there's $33 million worth of TIF revenue. Would that be correct?
I think your thought process is.
Yes.
I think the
Yes.
thought process is, yes.
Right. So there's no way that even if there was that money available, we never hit and get it all. It's just impossible because we're not as large as the school district.
Right.
We're not as large as the county. So why would they give us $100 million? It makes zero financial sense.
Right.
But $30 million for what we're trying to do over the course of, I think it was 22 years that the total build out is.
I think it's 20, the total build out,
Yeah.
that would have to come from them. I don't know.
Well, based off the little chart, it's
Yeah.
about 22 years.
Yeah, I guess you could assume that.
I mean, so realistically, I mean, it would probably take year 6 before we could more or less borrow $3 million. Is that about right?
We really don't know. I mean, we're not gonna know till we get a little further down the road.
We're gonna have to, as we get further down the road, I think that's when the numbers start becoming more realistic. I don't wanna conjecture any number to you and you base your opinion or vote on some conjecture that I give you, because we're not far enough down the road to do that. Right now, we're just trying to establish, and I think the mayor's gonna get into it, but we're just trying to establish the TIF district. And then as we go further down the road, if the TIF is a good idea, and if we choose to go further down the road and maybe borrow money from it, that's when we would look at the numbers and say, okay, how much is going to be generated? Is it 3 million? Is it 30 million? Is it 500,000?
Yeah, because even if we wanted to borrow $100,000, we would have to start the process and vote it through to essentially ask for money, correct?
That's correct.
Correct.
Right, tonight all you're doing is voting on establishing the TIF. And that just gives you another option.
But you, let me see if I can help. You are correct. The pool of money that may be available has been reduced because the county and the school district choose not to participate in it. So that money will still, those taxes will still be going to them.
And the reason I like keeping, get a microphone, so the reason I like keeping them in is because 2 years ago, with the prior county council that was on county council, they were all on board with this. They had an election, had new people. So they decided they didn't want to participate. 2 years from now, their minds may be changed. School board may be the same way. If we could have gotten this done 2 years ago, the county would have been in it with us. That's why I say it's a 25-year process. At any time during that 25 years, if they want to participate, we've written them in it. All they got to do is raise their hand.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. Say a few years down the road, the school board or county decide to join the TIF. Personnel changes, representatives change, say 10 years down the road. They're part of the TIF. Can they vote to remove themselves from the TIF at that point in time? Or once they're in for the duration?
I'm not sure, so I don't want to give you an answer. I think the way it would work is they're going to agree to be in the TIF for a certain number of years. And I think once you agree, you basically signed a contract.
Right.
So you'd be breaking the contract. So I want to tell you no, that they can't just, well, today we'll do it, tomorrow we won't.
Right.
Because they're gonna agree to a certain number of years, a certain percentage, and it just doesn't make sense that at any time they can say, oh, we decided we don't want to be in.
Right.
Because we're going to borrow on that TIF. And we can't confidently borrow if we know two of the entities at any time can pull out. So that doesn't make sense that they could do that.
Right.
That'll be my answer. Doesn't make sense that they can do it. I really don't think they can.
Thank you.
Well, if I may, looking at it, I don't see why we would keep them in there then if they're not, if they can come and go as they please. I think we should take them out, and if they decide they want to come in, we revisit it and redo the document to include them. Because who knows if any of us are gonna be here 5 years down the road, you know? And will the people coming in understand what happened, or will they have to go back to what we did tonight to find out, well, they voted to get them out because they didn't want to do it, but now they want to do it. None of us are here.
Well, my argument would be that you would be placing a tremendous amount of burden on a future council, mayor, administrator, and double the expense. So if I know that I can do something now that would not cost a council 5 years from now extra work and the town extra money, I think it's fiscally responsible and good stewardship for me to do it today and not to put it off 5 years.
Let me make sure I understand what Doug's saying. Or Doug, are you saying that we need to take them out now? And if they want to join, then we do it, then we
Then
do
we
all
do
this
it if they
again
want-
to let
yeah,
them
we
in?
do it if they're gonna join. I mean, we're looking at, if we look on table B, it comes to $68 million with them included. So if we take them out, then we change table B and it says only 30 million or 25 million. And again, looking at it, you're saying, well, we're just saying that money may be made available if we need it. Well, if you put $30 million on the table, how many councils will go through and say, no, we don't need that 30 million? No, we don't need the 30 million. And then the next one comes in and says, well, we really do need some of that 30 million, so let's start using it. Okay? It just doesn't sit well with me.
Well, I think you're getting way ahead of yourself because we really don't know what the numbers are going to be.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if you want to make that number 10 million, we can make it 10 million, or we can make it 100 million. I mean, it really doesn't matter because we're really not, we've done the best guess that we can based on the information we have. So as the project proceeds, we're going to be able to visually see that it's going like it's supposed to be, or it's not going like it's supposed to be. If it goes like it's supposed to be, we should be able to get this amount. If it's not, we're only going to get that amount. That's determined when we decide we want to borrow. We're going to borrow based on the progress. So I don't want you to get buried in 100 million, 20 million, 30 million, because we're not at the point where we need to zero in on that portion. If we take them out, as Councilman Barry has suggested, we have to do this process all over again.
Right.
This is a 2-year process we're looking at. I would not take them out, because if they come and say, hey, I want to join, well, it's going to take us 2 years to get them to join. Whereas if they're in the document, it's a matter of them passing an ordinance for 2-3 readings. I think it's 3 readings for the county, 2 readings for the district, and they're in. Not 2 years, 2.5 years. And the other thing is, we've spent the money already to create this document. So if we take them out 5 years from now, a new council everywhere decides they want to join, we got to spend this money again to let them in.
Right, that's my point. My point is, it would be fiscally irresponsible of me to the citizens of this town to take them out at this point. Because what I'm saying to them is, if you would want to come back in, it's gonna cost you the double amount of money. And I haven't been elected to double the amount of money that to spend citizens' money. Anything else that we? There's nothing else, then there's a few things that I would like to say. I am going to vote for this, and I want to tell you why. Sometime back, I developed a rash on my foot, and it sort of concerned me. So I went on the internet and looked it up. Read some reports. I saw some people that said they had the same kind of rash, and they told me what it was and what was going to happen. And I went to bed that night realizing that rash was a result of some more serious issue going on in my body, and that I was going to have my leg amputated below my knee. I went to the doctor the next morning, and she gave me some cream, and it cleared it up in 2 weeks. I'm saying you can't always trust everything that's on the internet or social media or what people say. As good-hearted as people and websites may be. You have to do the research. And I feel like we have done the research on this. I want to state, in case you're not aware, that we have a government that's called weak mayor government. It doesn't bother me, that's just what it's called, right? That's one of the ways that it's called, weak mayor. Weak mayor government means that council elects an administrator, and then the administrator answers to the council. That means then that the administrator runs the everyday business of the town, but the administrator answers to council. The administrator really cannot do anything or act in any way without the authority that our council gives to the town administrator. We have done that. We have asked him to pursue this. This is not some folly of our town administrator that he's pushing on us. This is a 2-year process that we've been talking about, and we've been giving him the authority to continue to look at this and to let us know and to bring it to us. I will say it to you again, this establishes tonight the TIF overlay. We're not voting on a dime. What we're saying is we're not borrowing, we're not encumbering taxes. We're just establishing the district and the parameters of that district if we feel we should ever want to use it. So in other words, it's an option. It's an option to do the things that we would like to have done. Some things like ball fields built there, trails, water towers so that people on the other side of town have better water pressure and things like that. It's an option. The way I look at it is it's an option. It keeps the door open. I feel like the people that have elected us have asked us to keep every option on the table. We may never use it. We may never use this TIF, but it's an option that we're going to keep on the table, that we could keep on the table so that if it were, then we would have it available to us. I remind you, I've told you this, but I will remind you again, initially that was going to be a trash dump, that whole area. 3 counties went together and bought it so that they could dump their trash there, Pickens, Oconee, and Anderson County. I can't imagine having a trash dump that close to us in that place. Eventually they sold out. Pickens bought it, and then Pickens said, let's put an industrial park there. And in the plans for the industrial park, it says server farm, which was old speak for data farm. That they were going to have a building there that would just have servers. To me, I don't want either of those things there. I don't want a data farm there, a server farm there. I don't want trash dump there. I see that as a blighted area that this takes and moves from being a blighted area to an area that could house people, that could have parks, that could have recreation, that could have tracks, that could have trails that could connect us, and that could help us and our town in measurable ways. There are other ways that we are pursuing. We've already had meetings about impact fees that will incur with the developer. Impact fees on the homes and the things that are built there. There's other ways to look at it, general bonds and other things. It may be that we get to a point and say we don't need this. But I would like to still have that option available, or that option available to whoever may be on council. One of the things when I came on council 16 years ago that I disliked was the inaction that earlier councils had taken. I wish they had done things for us so that we didn't have to go back and redo those kinds of things. I'd say take a look around. You're sitting in TIF. This building was built with TIF. The rec center, when you go there, it was built with TIF money. We have gone through it. We are over it now, and we have weathered the most devastating economic turn of our lifetimes, and we did not have to raise taxes because of the TIF. And yet we sit in this building and go to that rec center, and then because of that, the senior center, and because of that, the EMT center, and because of that, the library, of how our investment in this causes other good things to happen for our citizens and for the people who live here and call this home. So you're sitting in a TIF. I want to remind you that what we're voting on tonight is keeping our options open. Now, a lot of things have happened over the last week, 2 weeks, maybe longer. And this has generated, discussion has generated some heat. It's just generated some fierce discussion. And I'm going to tell you, I'm okay with heat and discussion and fierce discussion. I'm okay with that. We should debate each other. We should test each other. We should push each other and inquire. But I want to remind you that we have to live with ourselves when this meeting is over. We have to go home and live with ourselves and our neighbor and go eat with them and the ice cream shop and buy gifts for them from Urban Central and go to church with them. And I want us to understand that for that reason, when we have these kinds of discussions, when we have these kinds of debates, when we have these kinds of fierce interactions, that I'm committing to you, and that as much leadership as I can muster among these people, that I'm not going to demean anyone for their view, that I'm not going to denigrate anyone because they have a different view than I do. I'm not going to caricature anyone in any unflattering or negative way because they might think differently than I do. And the reason is because I don't want to live in that kind of town. That's not the town that I ran for as mayor. I want to live in a town where we care for each other, where we protect each other. So I'm going to say to you, state your objections, state your thoughts, state your feelings, but I'm asking us now and from this time forward to just leave our personalities out of it and let us be a place and a people where we can go and live together, where we can wave, where we can smile, where we can say hello. That's the kind of town that I want to live in. That's the kind of people I want to live with. And so that's the kind of person that I'm going to be, and that's the kind of mayor and leader that I aspire to be. So we can disagree, but let's do it agreeably. I can't think of anything that would come before this council that is worth me losing friendship or honor with another person over. And I'm going to say once again, remind you that what we're voting on tonight is an option to keep open by creating an overlay, and that we may never use because there may be other venues and ways to do it. All right, we've all had a chance, we've talked, we probably just need to vote then. So, let's go now, and now I'm got my order out of here. We're there. Thank you, sir. So, we have ordinance 7-13, 2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area, second reading. We've already had it on the floor by second, and we've already had discussion on this, so it's time for us to vote. All those in favor of ordinance 07-13-2026 TIF 18-mile redevelopment project area, second reading, all those in favor of that, please raise your hand. There's 4 yes. All those opposed? 2, and so it passes. Next on our agenda, Chair moves that we accept on second reading ordinance 07-13-2026, Wire 3 agreement on second reading.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and second. Remind you that this is Wire 3 agreement. This is our way of saying that if Wire 3 comes into our town to offer services, that this is how they have to operate, this is what they have to do. If they tear this up, this is how they have to fix it. Any questions or comments about that? All right, all those in favor of adopting on second reading ordinance 07-13-2026 Wire 3 agreement on second reading, if you're in favor of that, please raise your hand. That's 6 yes. Any opposed? None opposed, and so it passes. All right, next on our agenda, thank you, sir. I finally found my way home here. Reports, comments from administrator and the mayor. Mr. Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just 2 things. I touched on one of them in the work session, which is the sewer rehab that's occurring on Malden, Madden, and Malbridge. That's going to start up in a couple of weeks. The pipe is staging where I told you, which is over where concrete and plaster used to be. So it should only be there for about 3 months. The trail, walking, biking trail, the SWU that we've been talking about since, I don't even know, I want to say 7 years?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I know we paid the bill about 4 years ago, so the bill's been paid. That should be starting also next month. That's August, so right around the corner, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Both of those projects will be going on. The total of those 2 are, I think, $4.6 million. That was all done with grant money. Any questions from council or the mayor? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Mayor comments, just have a few comments. This week is the Municipal Association of South Carolina's annual meeting. The town administrator, Mr. Peak, Mr. Moss will be attending that, correct? I just want to let you know, when we go to these meetings, I try to get with these people and say, what session are you going to? I'll go to this one, you go to that one. And so we divide and conquer so that we get the most out of it. And we have discussions about what we learn and how we might share that and how it might benefit the town. So I just want you to understand that. Also, I wanted to remind you that because of the resignation, that there is an open council seat. And as we have gone through with the Planning Commission, that the dates for to file begin on noon, July 17th, and close at noon on July 27th. So if anyone's interested, please let them know those are the dates they have to come into Town Hall and apply. That's all I have. There's no other action items. And next on the agenda, the chair moves that we adjourn. This meeting is adjourned.
Somebody said they gonna take their head and go home. I just